lobby of the municipal building and on our township website. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could stay standing for a moment of silence for our troops, both here and abroad.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Mayor Stampoulis.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Vassallo.
Here.
Committeewoman Bujanowski.
Here.
Committeewoman Du Bois.
Here.
Committeeman Huber.
Okay, we're all here. We'll start with some proclamations and announcements. We're having the Halloween Spectacular, which is sponsored by the Rec Department, Springfield Patriot Chamber of Commerce, and the Springfield Municipal Alliance and Red Ribbon Week, which is on Sunday, October 29th at the Chisholm Community Center from 11:30 till 2 p.m. We're continuing with the Farmers Market, which is the last day, Monday through October 30th at Springfield Public Library. We have live folk music that will be from 2 till 5 and free pumpkins with a purchase while supplies last. Don't forget, Election Day is Tuesday, November 7th. The polls are open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. All municipal offices, with the exception of the Township Clerk's office, will be closed. We will have Veterans Day, which is Saturday, November 11th at 11 a.m. at Veterans Park, which is the corner of Mountain and Shunpike. I also want everybody to know that the next Township Committee meeting will be held on Monday, November 13th at 7 p.m. Okay? At this time, we will take anyone from the public to come forward regarding agenda items only. State your name and address and be mindful of our 5-minute time limit.
Kathy Flynn, 88 Treetop Drive. I see a resolution here, number 2017-258. I don't know this individual at all, but I'm just wondering, is this a new position or an existing position?
This is actually it's half of a new position, which would be an HR position, and the other half is for OEM, which the employee, I believe, if I'm correct, Mr. Shahadi, left us a year ago?
Yeah, we've had a vacancy, a little more than a year ago, but we've had a vacancy in that position. It was formerly clerk typist, then administrative assistant and OEM, and so this is kind of a hybrid position, so we don't have one full-time and one full-time, we're combining into one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Agenda items only? Okay, seeing none, we'll continue with reports. Finance?
I'd like to approve the payroll and vouchers for the period from October 11th to October 24th of $8,709,593.71.
Second?
Committeewoman Bujanowski.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vassallo.
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber. Mayor Stampoulis.
Yes. Okay, we're moving on to rec, except we are missing Mr. Leap.
Yeah, he had a family emergency today, but if there's any questions about the report, I'd be happy to try and answer them. Any questions or concerns there?
Do you want to discuss the lockers
Yep.
regarding Chisholm?
Absolutely. So there's a resolution, 2017-255, that's included in the agenda packets. Committeeman Huber and Committeewoman Du Bois are familiar with that as well because it came up at the last Recreation Council meeting as a discussion item, and Mr. Lieb and I indicated that we would follow up on that and present a proposal, which is included here, and that is disposal of the lockers through GovDeals. But before we do that, I just wanted the committee to be mindful of the fact that there's a sense of permanency to this. The intent by getting rid of these is to free up some room, storage room, but in doing so, we have to be mindful of the fact that if we ever wanted to have locker rooms again in the Chisholm, we would then end up having to purchase lockers again. We are looking to keep a few of them, just in case we want to put some in a room, not get rid of all of them. We're trying to salvage maybe about 10 lockers. But this is the decision before you right now.
Do you want to have that discussion now? Or do you want to wait for that resolution? Because I mean, I have one question regarding the lockers.
Sure.
I mean, is it that much adequate space that if they're gone, they'll be able to utilize that much more space?
It would, yeah. They're Mr. Huber's over there saying yes also.
I mean, how many lockers are we talking?
Go to the basement, you can't move, because you have football equipment, I don't think soccer's there, there's a lot of equipment down there.
Basketball.
No, I
There's-
know the room to the right, because that's where they do the football
So-
tryouts for their clothes.
So it's just that it's easier to clean them out. They've been down there unused for,
Since at least the YMCA.
Wow.
And as soon as we get rid of them, we will wind up needing them.
Yep.
What's gonna happen?
does anybody use that room up off of the gym anymore? When I used to be
Oh,
there.
can you move them to the gym, that back room there?
That room is rented right now. We do get party rentals out of that room, so it's a revenue maker. I don't think anybody would want it if we put lockers in there. And it's certainly a lot more lockers than would fit in that room too, though. I mean, we could store them.
What about that, there's a closet in the gym, in the corner. You walk in from his office.
I don't think you're gonna have enough room.
No, but I
Yeah.
mean, you could put a couple lockers up.
Well, we are gonna keep a couple. We are gonna save a few. I think we can save a few and put them up on the dock over at DPW or find a place for a few of them, even if it's in the basement here. But for all the lockers, we don't have room.
No,
for
you're
that.
right.
How many lockers are there?
Sure.
I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay.
Reality show, we could repurpose the lockers into furniture or something and have a contest.
Okay. I just don't want the committee coming back in 2 months requesting lockers.
That's why I wanted you to have this discussion. That's been the reason why they've stayed down there, is because there's always been this feeling of who knows. But, you know, at some point, you gotta pull the trigger. So if we get rid of them now, that's fine, but, you know, understand that at some point.
Is there no room upstairs in all those in all those, like, classes?
The classrooms up there?
That you
No.
can store lockers?
No,
Does the-
they're all being used.
What about DPW? Do you need any?
No, we don't need any lockers.
You know, I mean, you know,
No, we're all good with lockers.
they might be better than what you have.
Would we have space at the new pool building for a couple of lockers for like staff to keep their stuff in?
So Adam and I talked about that, and that's one of the reasons also, again, we were talking about saving some lockers, but the lockers for the pool house, for the building, if you remember when we were walking through the designs, it was
Yeah.
yourself and Deputy Mayor Vasallo. The lockers are smaller
Yeah.
that are gonna be there, and these, I mean, I'm looking at the
Yeah,
pictures,
that's
some
the
are
staff
full
users.
length,
I was thinking
they're
the staff, not
stackables.
really- yeah. Those are
You know,
what
they're quite large.
Do you know how much money you'll be making if you sell them on gov deals? I mean, what, the intent is to,
Our resident appraiser is Sam. He seems to always come up with a good number for a reserve on our bids, and he's been always pretty accurate on his guess for how much things are worth.
So-
Sam, right?
On Garfield?
Yeah, so I would defer to him, and he's on vacation, but when he gets back, I'll ask him how much we'll get for them, and we'll see.
so the intent is to sell them on gov deals, make some money, put it towards, that money towards
It would just go into the general
the
revenue.
general revenue, and then free up the space at the community center?
Yeah, however, if in the future they need lockers, we'll be paying 3 times of what we sold them for, so that's my only problem.
So, but they're being utilized right now, all the lockers?
The lockers are not being utilized. They're just being,
YMCA.
they're just being stored in the basement,
Can we-
taking up room from the other activities.
Okay.
Can we revisit and try to find somewhere else for them? Or can you explain who actually wants to utilize the space? And like, is it football, is it soccer? I mean,
All of them, yes. This came up at the council, they all wanted it, and that, you know, my and Adam's marching orders were to find out about their disposal, and here we are.
okay. I mean, all right, I don't have a problem, but we're gonna have to put a stipulation that they won't be able to purchase lockers for like 2 years.
But you want to wait till next meeting and this way they can look out everywhere, and then if not, we'll sell.
We've looked, I mean, there's really nowhere to put them, and there's only one place I would suggest, and I don't wanna suggest that, because I don't think it's a good idea, so.
All right,
I don't think anybody would want that there either, so.
How about you do this? Why don't you find out what the estimate on these lockers would be at Gov Deal, and then give us a price of what new lockers would be, and then send it out to the rec.
The thing is, if we wanted
committee.
lockers, we don't know where, you know, how many lockers, where are we gonna put them, and for what purpose? You know, to buy new lockers, what's the intent of new lockers? Again, that's what this discussion is for. You need to say, do we see a purpose in having lockers in the future? If this governing body doesn't feel that there's a need for lockers in the future, then there's no point in going through this.
Even in
We would just
design-
end up buying lockers for this basement area, kicking out the people who are using it for storage equipment to have changing rooms, locker rooms.
Even designing the pool, I can remember back when we had our meetings, when we were designing the renovation at the pool, that we had decided really there's not much of a need for, people don't utilize the lockers at the pool in that particular space anymore. It's sat there empty, unused. So instead of, spending money at the pool for unnecessary items, I'd rather use that money for something else, and that's what we had decided in one of our committee meetings. Looking at this, I guess broadly, I couldn't see the need for it if we're not using them now. I mean, that's my opinion, but I can't foresee a need for these lockers if,
Okay.
and if we can make some money and put it towards the general fund, I couldn't see,
Rec committee,
need
you're
for
fine
waiting
with?
on that.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Anything else on Adam's report?
No.
Okay, Mr. Betcher, how are you?
Good.
You have a
How's everybody?
Good.
Very well.
You have a report for us?
Yes, I do. So we did host the E-Waste on October 7th, along with the second shredding event. As usual, we had a good turnout for both events. We continue to collect a large volume of grass, leaves, and brush at the E-Waste. And we also collect a fair amount of metals that fall under road goods. So this is an excellent service for the residents on the first Saturday of every month. If anyone's unclear on what's accepted, they can call the Public Works Department. We just finished the second round of tree planting. The fall plans were all used to fill a list of requests for residents that wanted a new curbside tree. And we were able to provide every resident on that list with a tree. There's going to be a third smaller round of plantings in early November in Zone 8. This is due to the loss of trees in that area. And the streets in Zone 8 receiving those trees are Warner Ave, Marion Ave, Alvin Terrace, and Perry Place. We completed several small road repairs on Milltown Road, Woodside Drive, and Treetop Drive. We also completed paving at our Treetop pumping station that was upgraded in 2015. This project is now completed with paving of the short road that leads up to the station and the area inside the station. And I say the area inside the station because the road going up to it and the area inside was all just the dirt foundation because it's not an actual building. So, it was a big plus for us to get that done. Leaf collection. The Public Works will be starting leaf collection on November 1st. This does take the resources of the entire department, so with the exception of any emergencies, the major focus will be on the leaf collection process. There'll be 3 crews that will be deployed in various areas of town on a daily basis. Residents may now place leaves loose in dirt or in biodegradable bags. Plastic bags are not accepted, nor is any other material other than leaves and or grass. Any other material mixed in leaf piles would cause the load to be rejected at the compost site. Therefore, any piles containing other materials will be passed over until that material is removed. The collection process will begin in zones 1, 5, and 7. These zones were selected based on the survey of the town, finding that these zones had the highest volume of leaves. The zones will be posted a minimum of 3 to 5 days prior to any collections. South Springfield Ave, Hillside Ave, Shumpike Road, and Mountain Ave, these are county roads. These will be collected according to their schedule. The county roads are scheduled for 2 collections, one in November and one in December. The November dates for collections are Shumpike Road is November 22nd, Mountain Ave, November 23rd, Mizo Ave and Hillside Ave are November 28th. Really, that's about all I know.
Just want to dovetail on what Mr. Betcher said. I emailed everybody this morning as well with the schedules. It was posted on the website as well with the link to the county schedule, so you can disseminate it in case you asked as well. And it's also been put on the town TV station.
Perfect. Okay, any questions, Mr. Huber?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Maria? No?
Nope, good.
I'm good too. Thank you, Mr. Badger. Okay, Mr. Shaw, do you have a report for us?
Yes, 3 items. The first item is the UC First Alert Code Red. I've emailed you all about that. This is something that Mr. Seidel and I have been working on since late 2016. We had engaged a contract with Code Red. It's a contract on an annual basis. They've been actually since that time have been bought over yet again by another company. So they've gone through almost like 4 different takeovers, I think, since their first genesis. We pay them several $1,000s. The new iteration, we've kind of been grandfathered in their legacy system. New iteration is going to cost anywhere between $5,000 to $9,000, depending on options. The county has been rolling out a system, the UC First Alert, actually their second generation of UC First Alert. They've had it for a long time. That's why we ran 2 different systems. Their system then didn't do what Code Red could do. Now their new system runs Everbridge as their platform, which is pretty much the gold standard in emergency and public notifications around the world. So the county has taken that on. And as a pilot program, we've talked to them about letting us join their program at no cost. So we would be able to take advantage of all the features that Code Red has, plus some really cool and cutting edge features that the new UC First Alert Everbridge system has. So my proposal initially was to talk about cutting the contract, but with only a month and a half to go or so, there's no sense. Just let it expire at the end of this year, and next year not renew with Code Red, but just to go exclusively with the county, assuming everybody is okay with that.
So if I heard you right, is Code Red still a county program?
No, Code Red was it's a program that we contracted out. It used to be, just before Code Red, ECN Networks. It's now been taken over by another company, and before that it was, I can't remember the name, I mentioned it in the email. But that was a company that we were contracting for directly a number of years ago, I think around 2011, 2012.
Okay, and how will that affect with our alert system?
It won't at all. Actually, the gentleman over at the county has been working with us closely to migrate all of that data over to the new system. So everybody will automatically, their contact information will be in the new system. People will have to just sign up for a new account in order to be able to manage their own contact information. So if we were to roll this out, probably starting towards the end of this year, we would start sending out notifications on both Code Red and UC First Alert to let people know about the transition. We put a notice on the website. We would put a notice in the Patriot, let everybody know that if you had an account with Code Red, go to this link. I think I sent you all the body of what that press release and message would look like in the email. So those are the instructions, how to follow them, and we would roll it out so that way, come January, no more Code Red, it would just be UC First Alert.
What was nice about it too is that you also had an option to get, countywide alerts. So you can get them for a whole bunch of different areas, whereas Code Red was just Springfield.
Correct.
So.
And it was duplicative because there were a lot of people that were signed up for both.
Right.
And so they would get notifications from UC First Alert and notifications from Code Red. So this eliminates that duplicity and makes sure that there's only one place for people to sign up and one place for people to get information. There's a whole slew of other alerts that they could sign up for in the county program too.
Are you gonna send out to townwide, everybody gets a letter?
It won't be a robocall.
Robocall.
We won't do a robocall on that, just because it's a lengthy message to say, hi, we've changed over, do this and that. But what we will do is it has the ability to send out text messages and emails to people who have signed up, and we'll send that out to them as well. If the phone number is not an issue, because the phone numbers have all been migrated over, what we want to make sure is that people can self-manage their accounts and update either their mobile numbers and their email addresses if need be in the event of an emergency.
Now, will residents be able to log on to our website and sign on for UC Code Red?
Yeah, so it's managed through a website that the county has, but we would link to it from our website. And it was the same thing with Code Red, actually. We had to embed their form into our website. They run their own thing, so we would essentially do the same thing. We'd put a page on there, a news bulletin, and a link right prominently on the main page that says this is how to sign up.
Okay, sounds good.
One thing I'd like you to do then, in December, I guess they have a meeting in December, I don't know. Go to the seniors and go over there and sit down and explain it to them and give them all a letter if we have to.
Sure.
You know, written out. This way, they won't get excited.
Absolutely.
I'm a senior, so it'll be nice.
And even before, if somebody had difficulty with the computer or signing up, we would always have them email us or call us, and Sam would often sign them up, or Jen Law would manually sign them up, so we'll be happy to do that again.
Couldn't we, maybe, one of us, I mean, I could help, or somebody go over to the seniors maybe, and meet with, if they need help signing up, and we can bring a laptop and sign people
Sure.
up or something.
Well, we're in the process of buying computers for them also, putting a computer lab. We got that grant from the county.
Yeah.
So we're setting up a computer lab for them there, so we'll be able to do it right there on the spot.
Yeah, and you will have classes for them, I hope, because they will be.
They got this.
Okay.
Sure, Rich, we'll volunteer you as the
No,
instructor.
not me.
Just let us know what time you're available.
There are actually other towns I've read about that have programs for high school kids that get volunteer hours coming into senior centers and teaching them how to use technology. I wanted to do something like that here, maybe.
It's great,
because
yeah.
It's
Well,
great
when
for them to spend time.
When we had the Springfield Improvement Team, that was one of the things we wanted to do. So senior, helping seniors, so senior citizens, you know, getting help by, you know, seniors in
Yeah,
high school.
however, freshmen, sophomore, and juniors
Yeah.
all need
Right.
40 hours, like,
Yeah,
a
no,
week
it's
a
great.
year, so it should be 9 to
for
12th
everyone.
grade.
Yeah.
We'll get in touch with them.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
I
no.
had two more things. Just an update on some grants. We've got about 3 grants in the pipeline. We've got a 5, I think, if I'm my counts right, 5 or 6. 3 particularly I want to point out. One of them is a Gardner Environmental Fund. It's through Sustainable Jersey. We're applying to get this building solar ready. It's a big expense, as you've heard from Rob Walton, our JCP&L guy, and Committeewoman Du Bois, you've been pushing that as well.
Yeah.
So we took
Yes.
the estimate that we've gotten from Rob Walton, and we're going to pitch that to the grant to say, hey, look, we want to do solar, we'll take that on, but help us pay for the transformer upgrades. So we'll see what happens with that. The other one is a grant that came to my attention. It has a whole bunch of different things that we could apply for. I spoke with Adam about it for a couple ideas, and what we're looking to do is create almost not a grant program, but a subsidized program to offer handyman services for low and moderate income seniors. Things around the house that they may not be able to get to themselves and can't afford. So it's for
Kenilworth does that, I believe.
Kenilworth. I think Mountainside also does that too. So that's where we got the idea from.
He did that in Kenilworth, I know, I talked to him about it.
I'll ask Adam to
Yeah.
check with them also. So that's another one that I think is interesting. And then there's another grant for a number of things that it can be applied for. We're looking at actually putting the apiary under that grant. So that would be for beekeeping, create a little beehive for us to generate honey, teach kids about the importance of bees, and Allie Miller from the Environmental Commission is offering her services in kind, and she's put together a budget for that. So those are 3 grants I'd like to just highlight. They're all due in the next couple weeks. So. And then the last one, I sent an email this afternoon, I believe it was this afternoon or yesterday, from the police chief. You may not have all had a chance to read it, but I did just want to summarize it. As you know, we have a lieutenant retiring. Chief wants to hire to replace that lieutenant, or promote to replace that lieutenant. As a result of that, it's going to create a ripple effect where a sergeant becomes a lieutenant. Therefore, he's seeking consent so that way at our December meeting, no later than, he has the ability to promote a patrolman to sergeant and then hire a patrolman to replace that. Hire a new probationary officer to replace that patrolman that moves up to sergeant. So he's got an analysis that I asked him to prepare in the report, and it presents a savings to a significant savings as a result of years in service and longevity that we will no longer have to take on as a result of the retirement and the promotions. And
We're going by the test, am I correct? I'm sorry.
Yep, he's doing he's running a lieutenant promotional exam. Sergeant's exam already exists,
Yeah.
so he would be going to the next individual for that, and then probationary, he's got a chief's test, so he would recommend to promote hire as he sees fit.
Yeah, but we're not going to chief's test. Well, he's going to go to the academy, because we're not going to pay for somebody to go to the academy.
No, a chief's test in that he selects, he interviews and all this, but his requirement is always that they've completed and possessed their PTC.
Okay. And when is the lieutenant test scheduled?
Let me see if it's in it was in his last report from the previous month. I don't know the date.
He wasn't, 2 months ago, because he wasn't here last meeting.
No, he didn't present on it, but it was in his report. Let me see, I think it was in the October 10th report. Police, yep, it was in his October 10th report, and
I know he said that he gives it, but I just don't want to have a lawsuit where, like, say 4 guys are eligible to take it, whatever, 4 people.
this is for, I'm sorry, for the what?
Lieutenant.
For lieutenant. I don't want anybody complaining because, well, he got it and I didn't, and this,
You'll never stop that.
Yeah.
But at least if we have somebody independent running it. I know the
Yeah.
fire department goes independent, right?
No, he announces, it's all dictated by ordinance, how the process goes, who's eligible, what the requirements are, how the testing and scoring works. So it's all done by the ordinance, the unions are aware of it, they agree to it, and it's well aware to them. So there shouldn't be any issue. You can never guarantee.
Or can we, is this, they can also skip, can they skip on this test? In other words, if you and I took it, just like, and we got the same, same score or close, so you came in second, I came in first, he wants to skip me and go to you, can he do it on this one?
This is for sergeant or for lieutenant?
No, lieutenant. Yeah, I want to make sure, because I don't.
It would go exactly as the sergeant's promotion, same way.
Okay.
And I'm looking at his report here from July, actually it was in his July-August report. He says there's 8 sergeants eligible to participate. They have until September 17th to advise them of their intention to participate, and the written exam is gonna be set in November.
Okay, so why don't you have them set the exam, and then we'll wait for the results, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah,
For lieutenant.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, what about sergeant and patrolman?
Well, we're not going to promote as, when we say, okay, on lieutenant, then that'll be a ripple effect.
Then we'll.
Okay, so-
We'll
so-
visit that when we visit the.
Okay, so then you don't want to promote a patrolman to sergeant and hire a patrolman at the December meeting. Because if the test is done in September and November, he's looking to promote that sergeant to lieutenant in December.
So have the chief write all that up with.
He did, that was all in this,
In his,
that was all in this report.
He wants it done simultaneous, right?
Well, the
Same-
lieutenant retires in December, so he's gonna be short a lieutenant in December.
Backfill effect.
okay, right.
So he wants to make sure that he's okay with that.
Do we,
But
Michael,
he
do
needs
we,
to take the lieutenant's test first in order, once he's short. So have him take the test, and then let's worry about the lieutenant first, and then take the next step.
Well, so what's the concern about the lieutenant?
Well,
Because he
right.
needs to promote a lieutenant for December.
do we have enough money right now, because those things are going to be getting paid?
It's cost saving, money was.
There's
less.
vacations and all that other stuff.
Yes, we do, because right now the lieutenant who is retiring has longevity.
Right.
The new personnel probably does not have longevity.
But if I'm paying you, just say $10,000, and Diane's gonna be lieutenant now, I gotta start paying her $10,000.
Thank
Do we
you.
have enough-
Thank you for the
Do we have
promotion.
enough money in the budget?
Yes.
Where we don't have to take from,
Yes,
I wanna make sure.
Okay.
yes.
However, you need to take the test first in order to promote a lieutenant. So
I understand,
Why
but-
don't we worry about that first?
Okay, so that's what we're worrying
And then-
about right now, but if you're saying you don't want to, what's the point in giving
No.
a lieutenant test if you're not going to promote a lieutenant?
Oh, no, I don't,
Okay, so
we
then
are.
what's the,
other words-
if you are
I think
promoting a
it's the-
lieutenant?
I think it's the trickle effect.
I don't want
Then it's
the-
another sergeant, then it's another patrolman.
But it is, that's the reality of it, it is. So if you're saying you are gonna patrol lieutenant, promote to a lieutenant, then you have to, then, you're gonna have these vacancies, so what's the,
But no,
It's
But
like
we-
looking at a personnel chart. You have somebody retire, it moves up. It
Correct.
moves up.
Yep.
You move up. And that,
Yeah.
the title has already been there. You're replacing that particular title. Nothing's been created that's new, correct? There's nothing new created.
No,
These
but we-
individuals are being backfilled.
correct, everything's being backfilled,
What we're
yes.
saying
So
is-
however, no, because we have 44 and one's leaving, so we're down to 43, so I'm.
Come
antici-
December, once that lieutenant retires, his retirement is
Right, yeah.
effective, we're down to 43.
Exactly.
So he wants to be able to promote,
Lieutenant, sergeant, and a new patrolman.
Correct.
So you're talking 3 new positions in December.
all right, well, it's the end of the year, so I just don't wanna pay, I don't wanna double pay.
we're not gonna be.
Okay,
We're not
don't
gonna be.
double pay. That's one thing I don't want.
You're gonna have overtime.
You know what, I think that, maybe his report needs to be a little bit more specific.
So let me know what you want in that report. That's what I'm trying to understand here. I'm not sure what information this governing body wants in order to make that decision, so that's why I asked him to prepare this report. The big thing this report focuses on is fiscal. It provides with a summary of what the savings are. So if you want more detail, that's why I brought this up now, so that way I can go back to him and tell him what detail you want. But I don't know what detail you're looking for right now.
I'm gonna say his entire, train of thought regarding a new patrolman, a sergeant, and then a lieutenant, because that's what he's looking for.
That's in this report.
All three figures are in there.
All three
Okay.
figures are in this report, yep.
Okay, I haven't seen that, so, I will review it and make any comments, I will send to you by email tomorrow.
Okay.
Who's
Any-
in
yeah.
charge of police?
I am, and Maria.
Okay. Well, maybe meet with the chief and say, I just want to make sure, because I know from patrolman to sergeant is a big jump.
So it's right here, I'll run it for you right here.
Here.
From a-
I just want to-
Right. So right now, assuming everything stayed the same, okay, you've got a detective lieutenant, whose cost is about $155,000 with longevity and all. You have a sergeant who's costing about $129,000. And you have a first-class officer who's making $110,000. So that total cost of those three positions is $394,000. By losing that lieutenant and promoting a sergeant to lieutenant, you're now going from, instead of the 155 with longevity and all, you've got a lieutenant at 136.
Yeah, no,
So that's
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I just, when we're gonna promote you to lieutenant,
Yeah, that's what,
we're gonna promote Diana sergeant, and I'm gonna be the new patrolman, all at once.
right, so that's,
Yeah.
so again, the sergeant's gonna be at
think I should be
129,
lieutenant. I don't know
no
about that.
change there.
Right.
And then the probationary officer, so you're gonna have a first-class officer at 110, you're now having a probationary officer at 43. So what we're looking at is a savings of 85,000 as a result of this, retirement and then the subsequent
Okay.
Okay.
hiring and promotion.
However, we need to administer a lieutenant's test first, so why don't we do that and get the results and then take the next step? Because that all
Soon in
takes
November,
a
so.
week. Right?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Why don't we have the test, administer a test,
It's gonna be done in November.
Okay.
Right, and then the
which we
results.
don't have a date yet, correct?
What did you say, November 10th?
It's gonna be in November, I don't know the exact date, but
Okay.
I'm not sure what, okay. Let me know, I'm confused, I really don't understand what the
Do the test,
request.
get the test done.
Yeah, exactly.
and
I get it,
just
but
tell him-
you're gonna have a vacancy, the chief is saying he's gonna have a vacancy in a lieutenant.
No one will be, it won't be vacant. We will make it, he will promote in December.
Right, so then you're gonna have a sergeant who's now moved up to the rank of lieutenant. So now you have a vacancy in the sergeant.
And we will promote in December.
Right, that's not what you're saying right now, you're
Yes,
saying
you
you
are.
wanna wait.
No, no.
No.
No, we're saying we're gonna
Yeah.
wait.
You know, you know what, just tell, Lieutenant Judd he can't leave, and we'll resolve that.
No, no. Get the test in November, December's first meeting, we will promote, or we'll talk about, the end of the last meeting in November, we'll talk to the chief will recommend, Ziasha Hadi is gonna be the lieutenant, okay?
All right,
Well, no, and then Richard will be my sergeant, and
all right. Rich,
So
how
he
about-
wants to
all
know,
right.
does he have the consent to do that?
How about Maria and I will meet with him in the next week or two, and at this point, he can tell us when the date is for his lieutenant's test,
Okay.
how long that's gonna take to get back with all his responses or decisions, and we'll meet.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem with his report. I read it. I don't understand, I guess, where the issue is.
Oh.
No, I think the issue is having three people
I mean,
promoted
it
in
was,
one day.
right, but it was clearly stated that overall there is a cost savings to this in his report. So if we're seeing an overall cost savings and making this move, I don't understand what the rationalization at this
I
point.
just wanna make sure we weren't gonna pay double.
But I think in his report, he had stated that's not going to happen, right?
However, we don't have a new lieutenant yet, so
Okay.
get a date, and then we'll go from there.
Well, you guys are gonna meet with him to get that date, right?
Fine.
Is
Fine.
that what, okay.
Is that fine, or do you not wanna meet? I mean, I don't care.
Well, at this
Have him
point,
send
I
us an
don't,
email.
I don't know if there, I mean, he really, I read the email this afternoon, I saw the report, I understand the justification. If he wants to just send us an email indicating when that test is going to be, we can do that as well.
Okay. All right. Next.
That's all I've got. I'm just trying to make sure that we're not at the last minute trying to
we
figure
won't
things
be.
out.
We won't
So I'm trying to do a service here to the township and the township committee by looking at this 1 month out rather than in December, scrambling to figure out what's going on here. Because he went through this with the 2 sergeants, and he's concerned that this is going to get delayed or pushed off,
Right, it
so.
tends to create more chaos when you do that.
We have the list, so it goes from one of those sergeants on that, well, one of those individuals on that list will be promoted, and then the third one is he'll have a name, and then the lieutenant, whoever takes the test. It's as easy as that, so let him get us the test, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the big thing here is. All right, let's move on.
I just wanted to ask one thing about the grants. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's too early to say, but is it okay to mention that we're also applying for that level playing field grant?
Yes,
For the
well, it's not too
accessible
early.
playground.
Yeah.
Easy, much easier. Union County is presenting a level the playing field grant aiming at improving playground access for children and families and children with disabilities and special needs children. And I reached out to Ziad when I heard about it on Friday, and he immediately reached out to the grant writer, who immediately reached out to the county, and that's all in the works. So I just want to put that on record that hopefully, fingers crossed, we got it, we'll get it in, and we'll have some good luck with that. So just wanted to add that along with the other grants.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you. That was like quick.
Don't waste time.
I read like 5 minutes later, like, yep, it's in the works. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Regular and executive minutes. Oh, let's move on to minutes and reports. Township Committee. Erica?
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I move to adopt regular and executive meeting minutes of October 10th, 2017 as emailed. Sorry about my voice.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Okay, we will accept the Springfield Recreation Council meeting minutes of Wednesday, October 4th, 2017 as submitted. We will also accept the OEM monthly reports for August and September 2017 as submitted. Moving on to new business, we do not have any second readings or first readings, so we'll move on to our resolutions. Let's adopt these resolutions by consent agenda. If anyone has an objection to include any of these resolutions, please let me know if you would like it pulled. 2017-251, 2017-252, 2017-253, 2017-254, 2017-255, 2017-256, 2017-257, 2017-258, 2017-259. Is there a motion?
I'm sorry, wait a minute, there's one thing. Why, 256, well, Mary Jo Walsh, I know she retired now, I have no problem with that. But the thing is, she didn't get a raise in the first of the year, why?
We didn't do the raise at the beginning of the year. We only did it in August or September. We
Right.
adopted the ordinance.
Oh, okay.
And in doing
That's
the
what it is.
ordinances, that position and her title were left out because we had the change over to a new tax collector. So this is just correcting that
All right, I just
oversight.
want to make sure.
No, thank you.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I have a motion for resolutions 2017, 251, 252, 253, 254, 255, 256, 257, 258, 259. That's it, right?
I second?
Madam,
Who seconded?
I did.
Okay. Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Committeewoman Bujanowski?
Yes.
Committeewoman Du Bois?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vassallo?
Yes.
Mayor Stamkoulis?
yes. All right, discussion action items.
Do I move to adopt the Holy Cross Lutheran PACE letter of support request?
I second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Okay, any questions?
Do you want to just call him
Resolution.
Pastor David Mack? He's here on the PACE letter.
Okay.
Just call him up. Maybe he wants to just talk about it.
Oh, sure. Let's just go back to discussion action items.
Holy Cross Lutheran
Yep.
Church.
Pastor
Pastor,
Nick?
would you like to come up and say anything?
Thank you. I just wanted to, when we had met with Mr. Shahadi and Mr. Mardini, with the project manager for the Social Ministries of New Jersey, an architect, and our congregational president last month. And the idea is Holy Cross is looking for a way, we have an we have an empty building that sits empty 5 to 6 days a week. And we were looking at to leverage that to be a blessing for the community. And our bishop's office came to us with this idea of starting PACE. PACE stands for Program for the All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly. It is designed for fixed income seniors to remain in their homes. And it works through Medicare, Medicaid, or both. So the way that it works with, I think I sent Zion some supporting documentation. So if you're on Medicare alone, you pay your part premium to be involved in the program. Then Lutheran Social Ministries becomes the primary insurer. We handle all doctor's visits and everything for that. And it's designed really to keep folks in their home. My personal story where I could get behind this is being a pastor here in New Jersey for 25 years or so, is one of the things I've noticed, particularly people that when they have dementia, when they are taken out of their home environment, it's really, it's a disaster. And it's not a good way to die. And so what we wanted to do is, we Holy Cross would take the community seriously and take care of the support the community gives us seriously. And so we wanted to find a way that uses or leverages our building to be a blessing. The people that this helps are kind of folks you would think. The people that have maybe bought their house in the 1950s or 60s and they've been living in this community their whole life, and they would like to stay in. The other big group that this helps are people that are living with their adult children, which is so you have seniors that live with their adult children, and their adult children are caring for them, they have to work, and we help balance that out. This is a national program. It is run through the state. We already have a program up and running in Hudson County. There will only be one per county in New Jersey, and Lutheran Social Ministries has the contract with Union County. We were selected Springfield because, one, we had a modern building that the church felt that our building could easily be converted to this purpose. A lot of church buildings were built years ago. And the other is the central location within the county. We're about right smack in the middle of the county, so we can get to Berkeley Heights or the other end of the county pretty quickly. And so.
And you forgot one other reason. We're the greatest town in Union County.
And the Simpsons live here, so getting better.
Apparently.
And so, and we certainly understand that this is by no means any. When the Social Ministries contacted me, they asked me to proceed out about a letter of support from him. He told me that he is by statute. He cannot do that by statute, and I understand that, and I think that's a good statute. So, and it gives me an opportunity to talk about what this program could be. I like it because I think it sends a signal that this is a community that cares for people at all ages of life and keep people in their homes, and make this a place where you can live your entire life. And I think it'll be a blessing. It'll be a blessing to the town. And we understand that by sending this letter, the town's under no obligation. We still have to go with the board adjustment and do all the normal. We understand the obligation like this. And so I'm just very thankful that you give me a hearing, and thank you for the privilege of being in service.
Well,
Hang on.
Can I just question?
One question that I have is, can you, how would you use, for the people in the audience, how would you use your building?
The building is, so basically it works like if you've been to a nursing home, right? There's a day room where they have the day activities, they have a piano player, the card, they watch TV, they play bingo. Our sanctuary would be converted to a day room. There would be on the second floor, I would losing my arms. We're actually converting that into a physician suite. There would be a doctor, a gerontologist on staff.
That's
with
amazing.
Nurses. And then the basement, we would be having PT and OT. And is how. So we have actually, when they looked at us, you ever been to Sage and Summit? Our building is the same size as Sage. It's almost exactly the same, 20,000 square feet or so. And so that's what we'll be moving on so that's how the building would be used. Our big issue, and I'll kind of head it off. Our big issue was being next to the Walton School. And when we came,
Car line for seniors.
Well, the big issue is parking because we have regulated parking. We know Officer Rachel intimately. And immediately when the social ministers came and the executive director, Colin Franklin, came, I told her right away, this is the problem. She was there at 8 in the morning, she watched the drop off. And he said, well, this is what we do. We have 5 buses that will be bringing clients to the place at 8 in the morning. Drop off 1, drop off 2, 10 in the morning. 5 powertrain buses is basically what they're doing. So they don't want seniors sitting in traffic either, right? Because it's to serve their client, get them in, get them. And so that they're perfectly able and willing and will adjust the program for the both benefit of the clients, which will also serve the town. So that's
Sounds
Thank
pretty
you,
amazing.
Okay, I think your basement might need some lockers. I think your basement might need those lockers.
You know what, I will.
You should send Zia another email about that. I'm having a hard time letting those lockers go, so we'll let you borrow them in case we need them. Okay. We'll let you borrow them in case when we need them, we can have them back. Thank you so much. Okay, any questions regarding the correspondence?
No.
Any unfinished business up here?
Yeah, I didn't know when to bring up what I wanted to bring up tonight, so I
You
is
can
it
bring it
okay
up now, sure.
I'll try to be as brief as possible, which is not easy for me, but I can't talk, so I'll keep it brief. My brother-in-law, who did multiple tours in the Middle East, was up here last weekend, and we were talking, and I was just in awe of everything that our soldiers do, our veterans do. And I remembered a story I read prior to being on the Township Committee, where communities are starting to put in purple parking spaces and, for combat veterans, so it's like a special parking spot, similar to a handicap spot, but in honor of veterans who obviously have been injured in their service. It's more of a symbolic gesture than anything, but it's a great way for our community to recognize veterans, and the Wounded Warrior Project provides the signage free of charge, so all we would have to do if we can scout out a location that makes sense, which I haven't done yet, so that's why I'm bringing it up tonight. It's not on the agenda to discuss, other than I just want to bring it up. If we could find a spot that makes sense, I was hoping that maybe we can, next month, maybe have it on the agenda, because it's Veterans Day next month. It might be a perfect time to do something like this.
Great idea.
Yeah, I think it's.
And maybe it'll encourage when the developers start developing in town to maybe do something similar, if they feel, you know, sometimes when you do it, other people want to. So maybe it's something we could think about and scout out. I don't know what location would work for it, but I thought it might be a nice gesture.
Also, one other thing. Over in the square, I forget the streets.
What square?
But, you know.
Divin, Meeks, Ruby.
I'm honest, Ruby and that.
And the other one.
People complain because they're trying to get out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock, whatever time school gets out, and they can't get out of the streets. Can you have Officer Rachel? And you can't go with a police car because they'll stop for a police car. If he goes in a regular car, or one of his, you know, one of his associates goes in the car, and see what he can do. They're talking about, because people are parked close to the corner, and they just can't get out. So I don't know what we can do, no parking there, or a box. Somebody said a box. So I'd just like to see, ask him what he can do, if he's looked at it. Please, thank you.
Okay. Any other unfinished business?
I'll just make another plug for Veterans Day, if it's okay. Just Saturday, November 11th at 11. If I invite everybody to come down to Veterans Park. It really is a great ceremony. We really want to make it nice for the veterans. We have a sing-along, so everybody come on down and be prepared to sing. All right?
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, public comment time. Anybody from the public would like to come forward on any governmental issue, please come forward, state your name, your address, and be mindful of our 5-minute time limit. Wait, we can't hear you. Mr. Betcher, can you get, yeah, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Hear me now?
I can hear you.
It's fine.
Philip Bellin, my mom's house, 29 Becker Road. This all started about a year ago. It's where the Boychuk property was. They built all the new homes and condos there. The road was dug up so many times, and they come and patch it. A couple times they popped it over and over. Well, they brought the road up. Now the water runs from the road in the driveway. And about a year ago, I went to see Sam. And before the water was coming in the driveway, but they dug it up again. I figured they were gonna patch it and pop it, and then we'd have a problem. And basically, that's what they did. So then, Sam said something about grinding it down. They did grind it down. I was there the day they ground it down, and they didn't have it down far enough. I walked around Derby Road, and I found a coal planer, and I talked to a couple guys, and they came out. They ground it down. Now, when they came and paved it, they paved it all the way up to the driveway. Those paving machines are adjustable for crowning the road, but they just ran the thing straight, so there's no gutter in it, the water goes in the driveway. So, talking, texting Sam, emailing, I think he gave up. I don't know, he met with the gas company. I wanted to be there, but I don't know. Do you bond that when the gas company, it's your road, when they dig up the roads?
Mr. Hattie, do you know who actually paved that road? Was it our contract?
No,
or was
it wasn't ours.
PSE&G?
PSE&G's. Yep.
Okay, so what do you do in a case like that?
Going through the emails, I've been copied on emails from Mr. Bellin and Sam regarding this issue, and I'm looking at some emails here where Sam has been trying to get PSE&G to rectify it. So I can't give you any more information other than that. I know there was some correspondence last month, but yeah, I'll check with Sam when he gets back.
Okay, unfortunately, Sam Mardini's on vacation.
But it is a year now, you know. It gets worse. The driveway's sinking in. The water's going in. So now it's Pleasant Rock.
Where are you located, on Becker Road? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's the
29
last-
Becker Road.
The last house. I mean, a year is a long time.
Yeah.
Sam should have been able to head it off. You know, I've been moving dirt all my life. I do drainage work. I work with NRCS. That's what I do. But I can't do it on your road.
I agree. And unfortunately, this is the first time that we're hearing of this.
Well, I see you have another engineer. I saw him on your website. He looks a good engineer. I mean, I would have hired him for my town. I don't know if he knows anything about it. I don't know if this is over Sam's head. I don't know what it is. But it seems like I think it was just.
Well, again, this isn't a town, it's not a town project. It was a utility project, so we don't oversee their work. We don't monitor them. Again, we don't oversee their work or monitor their work. If there's an issue brought to our attention, then they'll tend to it.
I brought it to Sam's attention.
Right, and so as I said, I mean, I did see that he's been emailing you back and forth. He hasn't ignored it. He has an email and several communications back to you indicating that he's spoken to the supervisor from PSE&G and on and on. We can't compel them.
Last few emails, he never answered.
We could go back and forth,
Where's
Mr.
Sam?
Bellin. I don't think that's going to help anything. Mr. Mardini is on vacation now. When he
Till
gets back, he's on vacation till the end of the month, so about another week or so. And I will check in with him, as I said, and we'll figure out what's going on.
If you don't have,
Got in touch with,
can I, excuse me, sir. If you don't have an answer by the 13th of November, that's our next meeting. Sam will be back by the end of the 1st, so just say November 1st.
And
The
he'll be here,
13th,
actually,
come
first
here again,
report.
and Sam will be here, and we will put him on the hot street.
Okay?
I would hope I don't have to come back.
I hope you don't too, but I mean, we'll do everything we
I mean,
can.
it's a year already, the third.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
as the mayor said, this is the first time
That we're hearing of
I
it.
mean, 5 of us are here about it.
Doesn't Sam talk to anybody?
Well, we're not usually CC'd on those type of emails, so unless you CC all of us on them, that's the only way that we're gonna know of what's occurring. But this is the first time in a year that we're hearing of this.
Well, I tried NRCS, they hooked me up with Uniontown. They said they couldn't help me. He hooked me up with DEP. He told me that he was gonna write a letter, but I said, probably wouldn't do it. He said, if there's oil in the water, then we can do something. So then he told me, call Governor Christie's office. Called them. They said, it's the township's fault, and I should sue the town if they don't fix it.
Okay.
Because the roads belong to you, you should take care of your road. In our town, if any put an engineer in.
Okay, so
You
like,
have to
yeah.
own whatever's happening.
Yeah, and like I said, Sam Mardini is away. We will address this with him when he gets back, and hopefully we'll have an answer for you then. But until Sam comes back, there's nothing that any of us can do. The end of the month, I was told, he's on vacation.
So November 1st.
Monday.
Monday, he'll be back Monday, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Any governmental issues? Please come forward, state your name. Good evening, Miss Wendy Jones.
Hi, Wendy Jones, 158 Milltown Road. Let me move this.
You got it?
Yeah, Wendy Jones, 158 Milltown Road. Yeah, it's good to see you all again. I was publishing a book, so I've been busy. This is a question about Resolution 217-258. Now, what is a confidential executive assistant? What is that?
That's a good question. Mr. Shahadi, would you like to answer that?
Sure. So this position is the Office of Emergency Management has had an administrative assistant. This is a similar role to that, except it's got the added functions of HR, human resources, dealing with contract negotiations for the unions, calculating potential increases, also dealing with healthcare, HIPAA confidential matters, benefits, seeking reimbursements from prescriptions, dealing with our retirees, and that's why it's a confidential position, because of the nature of the information that the person is dealing with.
Okay.
So presently we have, Mr. Quick left, we've got about 3 or 4 people in town that do various HR functions, and that's caused some issues in that there's maybe not the best of communication on what's going on. One person's following up and isn't aware of what another person's doing. It's just kind of shared services within the departments. So we're consolidating those functions in one person to make sure we provide the best service to the employees and retirees. And we're doing that by combining one full-time position and multiple part-time positions into just this one position.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, and the place is too cold. There's no reason to have the AC up like this.
Great. Anyone else? Okay, at this time, we're going to go into executive session. Madam Clerk, can you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution 1024-17, whereas Article 6 of the Open Public Meetings Act provides that a public body may hold a closed session, and whereas the Township Committee will during this meeting enter into discussion of the following matters: contract negotiations for IT, whereas the matters to be discussed in closed session are to remain in the strictest of confidence by all Township Committee members in furtherance of their fiduciary duties to the Township. Now therefore be it resolved, matters discussed at this meeting will be released to the public when the reasons for discussing and acting upon them in closed session no longer exist.
Is there a motion?
Motion?
Motion.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, at this time, I'd like the public know that we will not be taking any action. When we come out, we will be coming out and adjourning the meeting. Thank you, and have a good night.
We need to adjourn.
Wendy. Wendy.
I have 2 pairs.